Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17 here bringing you another Commentaries 2 commentary. This time it's a 3v3 with, again, Redman and Ryan and myself, except Ryan and Redman are the Soviets and I'm the Americans. A little different for a change. Now, something I want to highlight in this 3v3 match is pretty much, if I could say what this match would focus on, it's early game rushing. And if you're wondering like, oh, well, you're versing an Ober Commando player, you're going to expect a rush. Well, it's all three of them. Because, as we can see here, they went the Mechanized Assault Doctrine. Now, if you're wondering what that is, pretty much you get these things right here. These Assault Grenadiers. They pretty much are very powerful units. They're good anti-infantry killers. They are, again, very good medium, exceptionally well close range, and they excel at killing troops. They're not rifles, of course. You can see their weapons. They're pretty much MP40s. But what they do is they have a little better armor, and they're pretty much good for attacking an enemy position very quickly and then holding. Now, the thing about it is, as you can see, he's going to rush up, and he's going to rush up to this point. Now, the other guys are going to do a similar thing. They're all going to pretty much try to rush up and take the point. Mitchman hasn't picked anything yet. Redman picked the shock rifle front lines, again with the IS-2. Myself, I'll pick airborne. That way I can get some paratroopers. But, yeah. So as you can see, they're already pushing up. Now, as you can see here, HG Quiggers is also with him. And if you may be wondering, why is he doing that? Isn't that kind of stupid to attack so far? And especially because on this map, if we see right here, the midpoint is right, I would say right on this line. So right down this main road type area. That's the midpoint, roughly, I would say. Now, if you're wondering why, per se, he's attacking and still going, as you can see, they honestly don't care about this point. They're going to capture it nonetheless. They're rushing for our fuel. Their goal is to knock out our fuel, and that way they can focus. Now, the problem was their ally, which was the Mitchman, didn't pick it up immediately, but if they knock out our fuel, well, they win this game. Now, of course, I'm going to switch over to myself. I went pretty much, of course, I initially saw this, I'm like, wow, these guys are idiots, because it's like charging me on open road, no cover. Guess what? I use my pretty much, I would say, pin ability on my rear echelon troops, which pin his forces on the ground, and it pretty much allows me to start owning them. Now, unfortunately, this Kuba wagon pops up and pins my forces. Well, slowly. This thing is now going to have to retreat, and I wanted to make sure he was down to like 1 health and retreat, because again, I'm thinking that's the only thing. No, guess what? Assault Grenadiers pop up. I'm like, oh shoot, I just used this thing's suppression ability, which is volley fire, to pretty much hold that thing back, so I'm going to have to pretty much pull them back. By the way, I kind of preemptively retreated them. I didn't want them to lose, because again, you don't want to keep troops in an area if they're pinned if they're not going to do anything. So what I did is I moved my riflemen to the side to counter. That way I can aim from the rear. And look, if you see here, same thing is what Redman did. He brought his MG to help me out with this Kuba wagon, and they're pretty much approaching forces. Because guess what? They captured our fuel. They managed to go all the way down the map and capture our fuel. Now, to be fair, we're also pushing out. As you can see, Ryan is doing a good job with MG, holding back Mitchman's forces, which, by the way, have not captured his own fuel. So there's a little thing about that, although I think he's hanging there now. Now, what he's going to do is I moved up to try to capture this point. The Kuba wagon is shooting through a brush, past the fence, across a bunch of wooden planks, and then hitting me. So it's not exactly doing the best job of, you know, pinning me. And then Assault Grenadiers, although great, 3 things. 1, they're medium weapons at best. And don't get me wrong, they're doing something. They're not doing great long range like my rifles. My rifles excel medium and do one heck of a job long range. And as you can see here, with my combined forces, we're able to pretty much bring this thing down to, oh, nothing. And, yeah. So now, what Redman's going to do is going to go and capture this. We're then going to focus fire and flank these Assault Grenadiers, because he's focused on these pretty much Engineer Squad, which I kind of feel bad for. He should have retreated. And now these guys are going to retreat, because they're like, oh no, the MG's here. Now the Kuba wagon's going to be like, oh, I got this, boys. I'll hold him back. Well, first off, I'm capturing this point. Second of all, I have these guys. And third, we have 3 separate points to attack this Kuba wagon. So if it comes at us, we can hit it and flank it. Kuba wagons have this limited arc that people forget about. So we can only fire the same range as a Maxium. It just has maneuverability instead. but it can easily die if you hit its rear armor. That's the thing about Kubawagen, okay, is that it can be easily flanked, and it doesn't have the best armor to begin with. Like, one AT grenade will pretty much take it out. So, what you have to do is just hit from the flank. Now, as you can see here, while that's going on, Redman is also having some difficulties. Although, not that many. He's literally standing his troops in the middle of this. He has one troop pinned, and the other one's okay. He throws a grenade. Grenade doesn't even kill the guy on the MG, and they're still being pinned. So, as you can see here, there's too many troops for that one MG to handle. They're just flanking around this arc now, and he's going to have to retreat. So, what I'm doing is I'm saying I have troops. Oh my god, look at all those dead bodies. That's sad. Although, if you look, that's a lot of conscripts and a lot of, there's very few. Oh, is that American force? Maybe. Yeah. Just a lot of random bodies. Ugh. Well, that's happens with war. People die. Like rear echelon troops. Anyway, point is, they have the Kubawagen here. I deploy smoke. That way it cancels this. I can retreat this. I have an ambulance right here to heal it. Also put up this MG to hold them back. We have more troops moving up. Redman has AT forces to take out that MG and holding them back. Again, we're trying to have a more collective front attack. And by the way, Ryan is just kicking this guy's ass on the right side. Sorry for my language, but if you can sneak a conscript squad past your lines to decap your fuel, this guy's not exactly paying attention to his lines. So again, Ryan is just giving this guy a field day of hurt. Now, of course, this one guy, HD Waggers. Oh my god. Why can't they have pronounceable names? Jaeger, HJ, I guess? Jam, and Mitchman. And of course we have Ryan, who, oh there we go, he went shock mortar for the ISU-152. This guy's Fallschirm Jaegers and mechanized. Okay. So artillery to take out the house. I don't know if they decreased the health on houses. I just noticed they're easier to kill now. It's just more powerful, I guess, against houses. And one more shot, the house is gone. But look at this. Now, okay, they're launching all this out. I tried to retreat this, didn't work. So I'm like, okay, I can't win. I have to fall back. Guess what? Fall back to the MG. Now they're being smart. They're like, okay, wait for it and move. This guy's doing a very nice collective assault. Again, mostly anti-infantry, no AT. These things don't have AT, so, you know, the tank comes, they're dead. But I don't have a tank. The Americans don't have armor, which is something that, I don't know. I wish they could get some better armor quicker or something, because right now, as you can see, again, the AA thing's great, don't get me wrong. I just find difficulty in holding back all these forces so much. So what I'm doing is, I see their forces are here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to heal up and pretty much prepare behind this fence. And you're like, oh, what if they come through this way? Have an MG stationed. I am ready for this guy. This guy thinks he's going to be so clever. I move up to see what he has, which I don't understand why I couldn't see this. Sometimes the shadow system or like the defensive system is not the best. So I wanted to give him the false sense of security, like, okay, I just lost that, my only one. So there's these guys, which I should have probably moved up. By the way, this guy quit once Ryan pretty much just owned more of his forces. So he quit. Now this guy's assaulting. He's being pinned by all these forces. I do a grenade, kill a good chunk of his forces. MG's keeping him pinned. He does it against his MG. Guess what? Not going to work. And he can't move up because the fence and boxes are blocking his way. My bunker's doing it. And he's throwing all these grenades, not really doing all that much. And now this MG can now go to work on this, which is a flame half-track, by the way. Oh, by the way, this LMG behind kind of also owned his forces. Now he's moving up thinking, oh, I'm going to, you know, do amazing. Well, I'm healing these guys here, and what I'm going to do is, again, this thing is still being hurt by bullets. I pull in an airborne squad to do a nice little flanking, and again, airborne is great. I figure I can maybe upgrade with them with Thompsons and take them out. So anyway, my guys are here. I throw an AT grenade on it, which I think does a little bit of damage, but luckily, Redman saves the day with his AT weapon, fires one critical shot, and now is literally using artillery to kill his forces. Boom! He's done for. And at that, pretty much he quits. And Ryan, of course, says the best thing possible you can possibly do to an enemy Now they bring up an AT gun, which I guess they wanted to bring up for this bunker, but my combined forces, which are being healed very quickly, are going to take it out very quickly. Now as you can see here, pretty much they are now refocusing in the middle with the AI kind of everywhere. He has a couple forces behind sneaking around. He has a, let's see, yeah, he just has a bunch of forces everywhere. Red is really focusing, and he's bringing out a lot of these Fallschirmjägers. That's it. Just Fallschirmjägers. And, yeah, there's the half-track. So, of course, I kind of did a stupid move. I got the bazooka team. I should have just ignored it and went for the tanks. But, of course, that's me. And then what I could have done is I'm barbed wiring this so they don't flank me. Oh, yeah, and then this guy, and I want to highlight this. He literally just started yelling profanity at us. I want to note, this is an actual tactic, so don't fall for it. What they'll do, and what people do, is they'll... this is an actual tactic. They'll spew profanity. Why? Because... oh, and yeah, we're trying to say, like, hey, dude, if you want to surrender, that's fine. Because they want you to not pay attention. He has 2 AIs, okay? 2 AIs. You're like, oh, AIs suck. They do, but they overwhelm. And by the way, no, he did not have a bad team. The guy over here actually went with him, so he knew that person or something. And the other guy over here, yeah, don't get me wrong, he didn't grab the fuel initially, but so he was not... he was still trying his best, and Ryan is an exceptionally good player, especially as the Soviets. Don't mess with him with the ISU-152. Jesus, I have. In any case, so I moved this guy back because I wanted him to head back. I didn't realize how long it would take. I have a defensive force here, just waiting. I am waiting for some troops to get some. What's the term I'm looking for? Bazookas, because I'm worried about ET. Because I went that thinking I can bazookas, AT forces, and then I could hopefully save up for a major, which I'll get shortly. But in the meanwhile, of course, you see this lovely half-track in the middle, which again, by the way, can be killed by bullets, which it just got killed by shock troops, which is something you don't want to face. And I love his position of the AT gun, which is just anchored right above it. So fire is, you know, it's hard to hit, but it can still take out forces from far away. That's a really nice spot. Redman's really using that cover for on his side. I move up, start healing my forces, tell my guys to move over and help Redman out because I see this massive blob coming in. Anyway, shock troops unfortunately have to retreat. He's just moving in all these Fallschirmjägers, and it's really annoying. So I move up this, put up an MG here. I have more guys with bazookas. I'm healing them here, and I'll send these guys up north shortly. I have a T-gun, which again I stole, which is fantastic. They also, but they have a Stug, which is not the best thing. That's a bad thing. Stugs are good. They'll take on infantry. They're like light medium tanks, if there was such a word. I know. Well, that's not a thing. Well, yeah, a Stug is pretty good. Also, see, good shot. Killed 2 of my guys. Kill another guy. Yeah. Anyway, I have my LMG here. It's pretty much, it held back his Fallschirmjäger forces. But anyway, that's pretty much Red's whole assault. He's mostly going to focus on anti-infantry. He's not going to do anything else but build anti-infantry, which is going to be annoying. So I put an MG in this building, the one I had back there. That way I could pretty much have cover for anywhere here. And, you know, bullets don't affect this again because it's a tank, but I am moving up AT forces to help out. I also have my AT gun to just here just in case they flank. Now if we look here, they did cut off the forces, which Redman should probably get back. And Ryan is here holding the lines. Again, excellent position with the AT gun. If you really want to hide and just annoy people, just do that, because then they'll fire, try to take you out, and that won't work. And of course, you won't obviously see it. It's like, oh, the AT gun's going to be here, here. No, it's here. So anyway, they're pushing up with a ton of forces. So I'm moving up my AT. Yeah, then they keep saying this. But again, he's doing it while his forces are being healed and sent out. He's not, like, there's nothing he really has to do. So anytime he doesn't, and again, this is something I picked up on the first time I watched this video. When he is not doing anything, he's typing. That way Ryan and Redman are doing it. Why? That way they're not focusing on their infantry and he has a better shot. And this thing goes out of troll, dies. I don't know why they picked so many scout cars. The AI. They did change it to a better difficulty and fix some bugs, but that's something I guess they never got around to. What? Yeah, I don't understand his profanity at all. I did lose my LMG squad because 3 Fallschirmjäger squads just owned it. Again, that's a tactic that seems to be prevalent with the Oberkommando. Oh, wow. Yeah, and then shock troops just come in and own all of them, which is fantastic because it's like, oh, yeah. And the shock troops move in, and Volksgrenadiers are good against AT. They're not exactly the best against shock troops because they don't have thick armor, nor do they have weapons capable of fighting that. I put my pretty much rifleman behind this heavy cover because again, the dead carcass of a tank can be used for heavy cover. Once I'm done healing my forces, I asked Ryan about this. He wants it. Yes, and by the way, I did say that because I was just tired of it, and at the time I wasn't doing anything. Again, I didn't realize until afterwards that he was doing this. I was just mad because of the fact that this guy's constantly complaining. I hate that most of all when people constantly complain about game. I hate when people complain. This is something that has actually happened in Civ and stuff like that. When they complain, oh, I have a bad start, bad teammates, we got off to a wrong start. It's a game. What people forget about this is that Company of Heroes 2 is like I'm talking about it online, is a video game. Okay? You can win games, okay? And you can lose games. You don't have to win every time. Yes, you're going to have games which you lose, and you probably have bad teammates, unless you're playing with friends like I am. And Ryan is doing what he does best in killing the Stug. And again, Stugs, kind of like SU-85, but you know, good long range, good against infantry, but problem is they can't, it's the same problem, they have hard times turning and T-34s own them. This half-track is thinking it's all, like, is amazing. Oh my dear lord, that guy just, like, freaked out. Anyway, pretty much gets owned. They did a smart thing with the flame to take that AT out, otherwise they're not the smartest. And that T-34 is going to own that building. Up north, Redman did something so funny. He used a flamethrower tank and literally just started running over his forces and burning everything to the ground. I commend him for that, because literally all of his forces are literally just burning to death. And now this guy's complaining. They do have a Panzer, but 2 T-34s can easily counter. They don't really have that major AT, and they're still doing these half tracks. Stug, however, on the other hand, will change that battle. I do have a Sherman, which I have here holding the middle, and I'll move that up shortly to help take out that Stug. Anyway, I'm moving up forces to capture this point. Anyway, back to my thing. This is a video game. You can win, you can lose. You don't always have to, it doesn't always have to be the best outcome for you. The most important thing is that you have fun when you're playing this game. If you're losing, which we try to tell Ryan, you can still enjoy the game if you're losing, as long as you're doing your best and just enjoying the match. Oh, they stole the T-34. So I move up, try to hit the Stug. I have armor-piercing rounds, and it bounced. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then I fire up, and I see like, oh wow. Okay, he has this T-34, huh? Take it out, and subtle retreat. Subtle retreat. I have enough forces here. I'm going to block this up so I don't have to deal with these constant scout cars. But yeah, Ryan is pretty much holding him off. He actually lost quite a bit of troops with MG, stuff like that. His T-34 attack didn't go well. So now they're pushing up. Again, all this guy, like, I did this before. I, like, did the same thing where it's just a ton of Volksgrenadiers, and instead of that, I had Obersoldaten, which good at long range. Fallschirmjägers, similar. But the major point of the matter is, these troops are great. You need armor to support yourself. Okay? They have a Stug. And yeah, Redman kept trying to counter. Redman's good with width. So he was just like, okay, I'll take care of holding this guy off with smack talk. You guys just keep owning him. And we're like, okay, that works. I love these long-range bazookas. They may not, like, occasionally they may not do much, but hey, sometimes they will, like, take out a guy or two. Oh, I'm getting my 3rd degree. Right. And again, right now right now I'm getting my degree as well, but to be fair, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you have 1 degree, 2 degrees, or 15 degrees. This is a game. It's not... It's based on tactics and just how you move your troops. If I have a degree in law compared to a guy who has a degree in agriculture, if we're both playing the game, we're both good at the game. It's just who's better at the game, controlling their units and tanks and better strategy. That's who's gonna win, not either or, because it doesn't really matter. That's a job. Again, this is a video game. This is what you do as a hobby, unless you're esports or Devastated, who tries esports. You're quite immature. That's what I want to highlight. Anyway, moving up. I have an AT gun, which is thoroughly destroying all that. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I can call in this. The shock troops are now moving up and providing a good front line, while the IS-2 is coming around with a T-34 to smack some sense into this guy. Because the thing is, if he actually was smart, he wouldn't be constantly... I hate this. It started with the internet. It's like one of the things with the internet where it's like anonymity behind your username that you can just say and spout whatever you want and there's no repercussions. I hate that. Which is why, again, I try to be nice, courteous, kind, and try to, you know, be reasonable. Oh, and except when I'm just like, burn, baby, burn, you deserve all you get. Well, that's going on. I'm also dealing with a Panzer IV on this side, where I have AT forces and a Sherman dealing with that thing. But back to his troops burning to death, which they are. This may be like the 4th match I have an IS-2, like in some time. Like, I've had a lot of matches with IS-2 lately. Oh well, it's a good vehicle. Anyway, point of the matter is, I am just... The main thing I want to get through this video is A, the initial rush, and B, like, really? Do you have to be this? And by the way, he says, yeah, I'm so much better than all 3 of you. That's Redman. No, Redman is probably the best player out of both myself and Ryan. If he was such a good player, he would not have... How do I say this? How do I say this nicely? He's not the reason we're losing right now. It's the AI consistently and just attacks. That's all it is. We're losing right now, not because there's a squad right here. That barely did anything. If we look at points... Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, really? Really? Yeah, there's 2 AIs, dude. You can actually use this and do, like, use the attack here, and the AI will go there, by the way. Usually. The AI will go there in force and help you out. And I helped save Redman's forces, which I was happy about. And then the IS-2 just comes in and, like, kills the scout car that was like, oh, I'm going to fight the Sherman. And then the IS-2 just kills it, which was amazing. I'm moving up forces to capture my northern points. But when he says, like, oh, he's amazing, the AI has more, like, seriously, look, the AI almost is getting close to beating him in points, okay? So before he says that he's the best, he has fewer kills and more deaths than the AI. If the AI is doing better than you, you have a problem. For example, I'm doing pretty good. I don't have that many kills, but I surely have a lot of points. I'm doing a lot of damage. And I have more forces capturing, moving up, and retaking points. It's 3v1, I'm getting bored. Me too. Yeah. That's because we literally just attacked him strategically and took out his points. And now he has nothing to fight off an IS-2. Which is funny because people say there's nothing they can fight off a Tiger with. But to be fair, if he gets enough AT forces, and it is 24 minutes into the game, you can figure out something. If you look at resources, HE Huggers has 400 fuel. 400! He has to deploy all 3 half-tracks, which he has not done. So if he wanted to get the King Tiger, he's not exactly the smartest person in the bunch. He could easily have deployed the other half-tracks, by the way, and you have to deploy this one, by the way, to actually get it. So he just gave up. Like, if he really wanted to, he would deploy the other ones, and then just use all the fuel he has, get 2 King Tigers, and just counter. 3v1, you still struggle. We're struggling against the AI. That's why Ryan over here keeps losing this point, is because he's versing an AI. So by the way, if you're thinking that like you're gonna lose because you have an AI, and by the way, we kind of like counter, we waited for him. If you, I'm gonna pause this in a second. That way you can see the final last minute. But if you think you're gonna lose because you have an AI, that's false. AIs actually do quite a bit of damage and was the main reason for holding us back. The Ryan guy, if he really wanted to be smart, would have put down half tracks and then called in a King Tiger to counter the IS-2. So, and that probably would have killed the IS-2. So there you go. Two T-34s, you know, tell the AI to support you. In any case, the AI was doing great jobs at attacking behind our lines and actually putting down fuel points. So there you go. But before I go, as we can see here, Redman did beat me in the end. He got more points and kills. I got least amount of deaths, which I was happy about. Although I'm in the American, so, you know, that's kind of with them. HG Quitter's got the most deaths in the game. So, I mean, yeah, he's such a pro. Actually, let's see what this guy has. He's a rank 79. And these guys... Mitchum was 84, so he's not a noob by any means. And yeah, this guy was also ranked 70, so he was equal. And this guy got more points. Even though that was an AI, still he did better overall. Just when his time was here. And again, if you see our scores, Redman is 93. Redman is lower ranked than these two, and he's doing better. Again, I'm ranked 63, and I can obviously say Redman is a better player. So before, you know, some guy says, oh, you know, you're higher prestige, or you know, I have two other AIs. Don't get me wrong, having human players helps, but I've definitely played matches where the AI kicked my butt. So, I mean, it can be used effectively. In any case, if we count down the if we count down to the timer's end, we win in the last 25 minutes. I want to thank you guys for watching. Yeah, finally we won. And, oh, okay, so they actually keep this. Awesome. I print my Shermans. I love the shot of my Shermans just like coming in and be like, no, you're not taking this. You're just not. Sorry. And they're just valiant. I love the shot of like the particles and everything around here. Like you'd see him just like hanging on in the smoke and the dust. He's just hanging on. But yeah, there's no way they could have come back because again, he kind of screwed himself by not putting down half tracks. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't be like this guy. Don't be so negative toward your teammates. Yes, GTA and myself did make comments, but the amount of vulgarity this guy had after starting off saying, you know, good luck, you know, we can do this. You know, you don't have to be so vulgar. You don't have to be so mad. Enjoy the game. It is a game. Enjoy yourself. Even when you lose, just, you know, enjoy yourself. In any case, thank you guys for watching. See you next time.
Does anyone have a recon plan in their base areas?
No.
Find all three. I know where the one is, but the other two.
They're all along. They're here, and then they're here. They're all along the water.
Oh, so nice. Got him.
Nice, right now.
You did? All of them?